Today, I will shortly present what is IPBLIS. So we have, it's an initiative, it's a marketing group. It's an initiative of different organizations that we came together to educate the market on how we see the future for building automation. That's what we are looking at. And then we 6 major organizations present in the in commercial, no, in the smart building sector. So we came so we have CSA, the former CV Alliance, BACnet, we have DALI, KNX Association, OCF, and Threat Group. So we came together to align ourselves in the marketing way, to educate the market. Because we see, and for us what is important is that we can work to promote what is happening today, so to highlight what is happening today and to promote how we see the future in commercial sector for building automation. We are all aware today there are the different applications in buildings. They are working in silos. And you have, for instance, like CCTV access. Then we have energy systems, or the elevators are controlled by all of them different systems. So these are silos in buildings. And for the IT guys, the OT guys, this is presenting a higher and higher problem every time. So now we see that the future comes that these silos, they should come together to work with a common IP or IT network, which is an IP secure system infrastructure for the future. That is what we believe the future of our buildings are. Okay? And this is why the associations, the organizations of IPBLIS, we came together to present and to work that manufacturers of different applications, of different products, of different solutions, they will also see the future in buildings by using one common secure IP infrastructure. So the network should be one common network, where the different professionals, when you come to a building as a professional, if you are going to make an installation, you can use the common network, and then the IT responsible can connect or disconnect the products or the solutions without any problem from the infrastructure. That's basically, this is the idea.
Good. Yeah.
And
Good.
For us, what we wanted to avoid with this, okay. So what we wanted to avoid is the amount of different silos coming up. And there are more and more these days, so we want to now also integrate with offer the possibility to have cloud services, and then to, of course, like companies or organizations that we belong to, IPBLIS, we want to make sure that multiple systems, multiple technologies, they can connect to the common infrastructure. That's what we are aiming at. So for this, our vision is one building that is using in the future one unique IP infrastructure. And that's the basic idea. Of course, if there is one single IP backbone, what is the benefit? The benefit is, first of all, the installers, they don't need to lay down a network that sometimes is a pain. So if there is already an existing building and you have to lay down a new network, it's not, or a new infrastructure is not easy. Not easy, it's very complex sometimes, and it also has a high cost. Then that also this infrastructure will share some common security that allows the IT responsible person of the network, it will allow him to have a better control of all the devices that they are connected. The field devices or the building management devices, any device connected to the network can be controlled with an IT installer. It will also facilitate a seamless connectivity in the future, so that the products, they can easier connect to talk amongst them, of course, among those devices that they should talk to. So I explained before, there are devices, there are different organizations. So for instance, there is the organization of KNX, and KNX could have in one of the buildings, could have one storage. And then it could be in another floor, it could be maybe BACnet. So we don't say that BACnet and KNX will be talking, they will be sharing the infrastructure, but then each of the different technologies will have its own communication without affecting the other products in the same network. And yet, the IT installer, what they do, they can have the communication or the control of these products to remove one from the network or to add additional products. That brings scalability possibilities for the buildings, so that every time that you need to, so if you extend the building or you extend the network, it's easier to have more products and a higher infrastructure, because in the end we are using the same infrastructure. Benefits, there are many, but these are the main ones. So the problem that we see is being more in an application view. So today we have the infrastructure with the different applications. Every single application that wants to connect to the IP network, it needs to go through a gateway. And the gateways, in the end, so if you want to have communication, for instance, from the light control to the HVAC control, to have a communication, for instance, if you want to set up your scene all off when you go on holidays, for instance, you will need to do it via using the gateways and to interface in the different systems. The problem is, as soon as you have in one of the applications, as soon as you make an update or a change, if you do not update the gateways that are in between, the interfaces in between, they get obsolete, and then the system doesn't work anymore. The interaction between different applications, they will not happen. Or, what is even worse, then there are some systems, like the typical CCTV system, the security companies, they actually do not share the IP network, so they lay down their own networks, and they don't get communication, direct communication with the IP. They like to receive inputs on the way they define, but they don't like to share these inputs because they always say that they are secure. And this is the current situation, which is bringing a lot of problems today. If we use the common gateway, we still get the risk that, okay, so we can have is this gateway, again, we do not update the gateway with the updates of the different applications, we might still have the little issue of getting a system obsolete and not working. And therefore, the solution from the IPB perspective is to have this common IP, a unified IP network layer, so that it is used by all the different applications, all the different products, and all the different solutions. And then you have, or you can get rid of any hardware interface that you are using. If you do not need to use hardware interface, the software interface is much more versatile, it's much more agile, and you can make changes to the system without any problem. That's what we do with the IPBLIS. So it's a common network, the different application will connect to it. Could be the communication, needless to say, the communication could be wired or the communication could be wireless. So that is obvious. We know if when the building is growing up and you are adding on top new products, products are today could be connected with a wire or with a wireless. Both are possible. That's not a problem. And just to finish, that's a bit of administration, but just to finish and give you an update of what we have done in this day. So this marketing initiative has 2 years, it's 2 years old now, more or less. We've been creating the foundation of the organization by creating communication of the website. We have some webinars, we created the press releases, articles, newsletters. So if you guys, what I recommend you, if this sounds interesting to you, just in the website you can subscribe and then you will be receiving updates on the projects that we do. So today, the different technologies we are getting ready to have, well, the technologies are ready and the manufacturers are now working in producing the products that will be in line with the IPBLIS initiative. Some activities in progress, so we normal activities like a social media plan or Wikipedia, so nothing very special. So this is just to communicate, but please join us, be more informed of our activities so that you know how will be the future in the buildings in home and building automation. And that's it from my side. I don't know if you have any questions, something that you would like to discuss. Otherwise, if you have questions you want to talk, there are some colleagues from the different technologies just in front of this booth in this area, or the different organizations. We have a booth here, so feel free to look for us and then we can discuss and meet you there. Thank you very much for your time. Thank you, everyone.